Yeah, welcome to a brand new day again. We are here for you to give you more news updates, things that are happening around our environment. Now, today, I want to show you a video. This girl, in fact, we need to praise this girl. She has taken her time to go through this government and be able to figure out their failed policies and the failed government. Please listen to her.
On May 29, 2023, President Bola Tinubu stood in Eagle Square, Abuja, and made promises to millions of Nigerians. Not big ones, specific, measurable ones, promises with numbers attached, promises made in his own voice to a country that was waiting. Renewed hope, he said. 3 years later, we went back to those promises. We pulled the speeches, we checked the data and the current reality. This is what we found. Let's start at the very beginning, before he even became president. In January 2023, Tinubu was on the campaign trail in Abeokuta, Ogun State. So the already anxious Nigerians, he says this.
Wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ bí ọ̀rọ̀ epo àwọn á di 200, á di 5. Ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀, àbàmì wálẹ̀.
That day, petrol was just 257 naira per litre. On May 29, 2023, his very first day in office, in his very first speech as president, this is what happened.
No provision is there for fuel subsidy. The fuel subsidy is gone.
And just like that, the fuel subsidy was gone. But the subsidy removal was hardly the issue. To be fair, economic analysts and bodies like PwC and the NESG agreed that the subsidy was unsustainable. It was costing trillions, draining oil revenues and starving infrastructure. The problem wasn't the removal, it was a lack of survival cushion. There was no transition plan either. It was just gone. Now, fuel is at an average of 1,350 naira per litre. In the space of 3 years, the price of petrol increased by about 500%. And because fuel is the engine of everything in Nigeria, food, transport, manufacturing, nothing stayed the same price. Tinubu promised to redirect the saved money to infrastructure, education, healthcare. He said the pain was short-term and necessary for a longer-term gain. But Nigeria is still borrowing for all these things. And 3 years later, necessary and temporary pain seems to have become permanent. If the fuel promise was complicated, this one is not. In October 2022, while Tinubu was on the campaign trail, making the case for why Nigerians should vote for him, he said this.
Whichever way, by all means necessary, you must have electricity. If I can't keep the promise and I come back for second term, don't vote for me.
He did not say, I will work towards a better Nigeria. He did not say, we have a plan to improve power supply. He said, if I fail, don't vote for me. He set his own benchmark, so let's see if he met it. 3 years in, Nigeria has added approximately 1,000 megawatts towards a 15,000 megawatt promise. That is less than 7% of the target, with 1 year left on the clock he set for himself. And it's not just that the target is being missed, it is that for the average Nigerian, the power situation remains deeply broken, while becoming more expensive. Electricity tariffs were increased significantly in 2024. Band A customers saw their tariff go from 68 naira per kilowatt hour to 225 naira. Nigerians are now paying more for the same darkness they have always lived with. When the presidency was asked to comment on the obvious failure in comparison to Tinubu's statements, here's what Daniel Bwala, Tinubu's special advisor on policy communications, said.
No, what he said was a statement of intent that is backed up by a commitment to make that happen. When you make such a commitment, the next thing is you put it to work, which is what he has been doing.
We are not telling you what to think, but don't let anybody gaslight you. We all heard Tinubu clearly the very first time. The same day he said, subsidy is gone. In that same inauguration speech, Tinubu also said this.
Food will be made more abundant, yet less costly.
By June 2024, Nigeria recorded its highest food inflation in 20 years. Food inflation hits 40.87%. A basket of food that cost 10,000 naira in June 2023 cost nearly 14,100 naira exactly 1 year later. And this wasn't hitting everyone equally. The people who fell to the hardest were the people who spent the largest proportion of their income on food, which in Nigeria means the poor, the working class, the market traders, and the daily wage earners. The people for whom food is not a line item in a budget, but is the budget. Within that same year, the number of food insecure Nigerians grew by 34 million people. That's larger than the entire population of Ghana. The last promise we're examining is the one that matters most to Nigerian youths. It's also from the inauguration speech, May 29, 2023.
We shall honor our campaign commitment of 1 million jobs and the digital economy.
That was the specific commitment, and it came with a timeline. During the campaign, the Renewed Hope Manifesto committed to cutting youth unemployment in half within 4 years, from 19 million unemployed young Nigerians in 2023 to 11.9 million by 2026. These aspirations are not vague aspirations. These are the numbers that can be checked. So we checked. The government has pointed to plenty of fancy initiative names on paper, like the digital literacy drive by NITDA or the $618 million IDICE framework, an investment program backed by international partners to jumpstart digital and creative enterprises. But try finding any independent data that proves these programs created real permanent jobs. We'll be waiting. What the NBS Labour Force Survey does tell us is this: youth unemployment has not been cut in half. The job market for young Nigerians, the people to whom this promise was specifically made, remains one of the most difficult in the world. To the young Nigerians watching this, you are the ones who were supposed to be the direct beneficiaries of that promise. You are the ones best positioned to say whether it arrived. 4 promises: fuel, electricity, food, jobs, all made on camera. In his own words, to Nigerians 3 years ago. We didn't write these promises, we didn't invent the data. Every number you heard and saw in this video is sourced from National Bureau of Statistics, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, the Central Bank, and the government's own documents. What Zikoko Citizen exists to do is to ensure that public promises made to Nigerian citizens do not quietly disappear, that they are documented, that they are checked, that you, the Nigerian citizen, have what you need to form your own judgments. Today, May 29th, 3 years since these promises were made, we are asking you directly: